I tend to watch some news on TV from time to time, even pick up a newspaper still. So I tend to know the goings on from around the world, especially some of the recent crimes that have happened. It's crimes that always seems to stick with me the most when it comes to anything news related. However, when I'm on the internet, sometimes I come across crime stories that are so out of the ordinary, either through sheer obscurity or sometimes how scary the crime actually is. It's safe to say, the internet is always where I seem to find the darkest stories.
We begin with breaking news.
The Night Stalker.
Brutal slayings.
Horrific crimes.
This is going to be very disturbing.
Los Angeles. One day there was a furry convention there. People dressed up in their favourite costume. There was one 17-year-old girl there called Caitlin Goodwill Yost and her mother, Jennifer. The mum Jennifer herself used to get involved in these conventions and was considered a pillar of the community and a shoulder to lean on if any of the other members of the community needed help or guidance in their life. And on this day, they were enjoying their day there, looking at other people's costumes, talking about their favourite animes, doing what people and furries do at furry conventions. There was this one particular guy, Frank Felix, 25 years old, who liked to dress up as a dragon persona, and he started talking to the 17-year-old Caitlin Goodwill. Over the short time they spoke to each other, they fell infatuated with each other. Caitlin's mum found out about this and ordered Caitlin to end things with this grown man. The mum Jennifer got involved and said to him, "We don't want you to be friends with our daughter anymore." After the convention, things turned secretive and dark very quickly. Felix's love for Caitlin became so obsessive, he once cut himself right in front of Caitlin while she was standing there. One day, Felix was chatting to a friend named Josh Acosta, who was 21. Felix persuaded Josh in on an evil plan to help murder Caitlin's parents to, quote, free her from their grasp. Over the space of a week, the two emailed each other, coming up with a plan to execute this double murder. Josh, who was a private first class in the army stationed in Fort Irwin and was also known as a brony, which means men who like My Little Pony, the show. He actually agreed with the murder when Caitlin had confined them both of being molested by her stepfather. Josh and Felix ended up purchasing bolt cutters, earplugs, and shotgun ammo. September 24th, 2016. Caitlin let Josh into the house as she ran out to meet Felix in the car. Josh walked through the door to see Arthur William Boucher, a friend of the family, sleeping on the sofa. He was killed. He proceeded to walk into the bedroom and shoot the mother Jennifer in the head. Her husband and also Caitlin's stepfather tried to escape. He was then shot in the back. Their 6-year-old daughter found the bodies. They also had a 9-year-old at the house, but they were both unharmed. Thank God. Felix told detectives that he, quote, knew she wouldn't be safe if the parents weren't killed.
With unimaginable loss.
They were good people. They were really good parents, too.
Kim Gracier is referring to 39-year-old Jennifer Goodwill Yost, her husband 34-year-old Chris Yost, and her son 28-year-old Arthur William Boucher. Police say all three victims suffered significant trauma prior to death.
During Acosta's 2018 trial, the defense argued that the pair had been manipulated by Caitlin into carrying out the slayings. Acosta was found guilty on all 3 counts of murder on November 8th, 2018, and a month later he was sentenced to life in prison. At his trial, Yost testified about her stepfather's alleged molestation in exchange for immunity. Felix is charged with 3 counts of murder. He admitted that he knew the kids were home and planned to leave food out for them after slaughtering their parents, the prosecution said. They also knew that Arthur would be staying that night, with Felix admitting that he knew there would be a 3rd body by the end of the bloodshed. The New York Subway is an unbelievably busy and convenient way of transport for New Yorkers. With over 4 million passengers a day and over 55% of New Yorkers using the subway system, it's safe to say it is the most popular means of public transport in New York City. It is known to be unsafe, but in the year 2024, there have been a fair few attacks that really have New Yorkers very wary in 2025. The first one of the attacks was by a 33-year-old man named Sebastian Zapata. In the early morning of the 22nd of December at 7:30 AM, the subway stopped at the station and he stepped on the train. Almost immediately after getting on the train, he spotted a woman in her 50s sleeping on one of the cars. He pulled out a lighter and for some reason he decided to hold it on a coat until it caught fire. It did. The small flame became a big flame. By now, Sebastian was already out of the train and watching from a bench right opposite, watching what was happening. Deborah was seen in the video standing up while set ablaze, and just standing there. Things start to get more strange. Passers-by just stop and stare. Sebastian is seen on another video get up and walk over to her while she is set ablaze and starts to fan the flames with his jacket. He eventually proceeds to sit back down. She is fully alight, with fire engulfing her jacket and even a small fire by her feet. She is practically engulfed in flame. At this point, even police and security are just seen, standing, watching. The woman inevitably died. The whole scenario is just bizarre. From no one willing to help her, several people pulled out their phones to record her.
Sorry to his family, this is a person right here. Oh shit. Oh shit, bro. Yo! Fuck! Oh no!
Police just standing, watching. In the video, police actually asked Sebastian to move away from the bench as he was standing so close to the crime scene.
Where's the train operating conductor? Where's it?
I need the space cleared up.
Is there a conductor in this?
They didn't realize he was the man they were looking for. It took a week for authorities to identify the body as Debrina Kawam. As her body was so badly burned, it was hard to identify. Debrina was thought to have been a homeless woman, with sources saying that from September she was in and out of New York City's homeless shelters there. In her youth, she was considered a vibrant go-getter, with a wall plastered in Led Zeppelin posters. In her 30s, she sadly came into a debt of $90,000, which left her with nothing but an $800 car, a TV, a futon, and some clothes. She then began grappling with alcoholism. She tried to visit her mother in Toms River, New Jersey in spring 2024, only to find out that her mother had sold the home and moved away. In the fall of last year, Kawam was homeless. After an outreach team encountered her at Grand Central Terminal, she entered the New York City shelter system and was assigned a facility in the Bronx, but she never showed up. Sebastian turns out was an illegal immigrant who got deported from the US back in 2018, but later returned to the country illegally. On January the 7th, he was in court. He pleaded not guilty. He said he didn't know what had happened and he couldn't remember anything. He said he was drunk. However, he saw a video of the incident and identified himself, admitting that that was him. "Oh damn, that's me," he was quoted saying. "I am very sorry, I didn't mean to, but I actually don't know. I don't know what happened, but I am very sorry for that woman," Sebastian told police, according to the court documents. He was ordered held without bail. He was indicted on charges of first-degree and second-degree murder and arson in the killing. The second incident happened on New Year's Eve. A 45-year-old man named Joseph Linsky was at the 18th Street station shortly after 1:30 p.m. A video shows him standing there waiting for the train while he was on a mobile phone. An oncoming train approached the station. Along comes a man behind him and pushes him onto the oncoming tracks. The train immediately stopped at the station. There were a bunch of paramedics and police that quickly arrived at the scene to try and get this man from underneath the train. One law enforcement officer source said of the victim, "By God's own hand, he fell perfectly in the trench. He had miraculously survived." One of the authorities said, "When we got him out, I was shocked to see him blinking, his eyes moving and his fingers. He was bloody." The 23-year-old pusher immediately ran from the scene, but was caught hours later. Apparently, he had a record and was well known by NYC police, including allegedly assaulting another New Yorker and another incident where he slammed a police officer to the ground, injuring his back. Joseph spent over a week in hospital and got sent home where he's still recovering to this day, mentally and physically. His sister, Jennifer Linsky, wrote in a Facebook post, "Joe has a long road ahead of him, both physically, emotionally and mentally." She urged people to donate to the GoFundMe page to help pay for his medical expenses and other bills. The page had raised $70,000 over 2 days. Last year, people were pushed to the tracks 26 times, including those propelled off the platform during fights. The NYPD stats show that in the 28 days leading up to the incident, there were 48 felony assaults in the city transit system, making for over 40% bump over the same period in 2023. These include 2 slashings in one day, and also an assaulted robbery of a 69-year-old man. The robbery occurred also on the 22nd of December, where 5 men seen on a train takes 2 bags off a sleeping man believed to be homeless and takes them into the other car. The 69-year-old man wakes up and attacks 2 of the suspects. They fight back with 4 of the men believed to be punching and striking the old man. They wrestle and fight with this older gentleman until the man is seen reaching into one of his bags and pulls out a knife. He stabs 2 of the men, fatally wounding one of them. He later died as a result. The victim is not facing charges. The robbery suspects, however, faced a judge in Queens Criminal Court and is still awaiting verdict.
Old MacDonald will be a very happy farmer. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. On this farm he had a cow, E-I-E-I-O. Old MacDonald will be a very happy farmer.
In Texas, livestock shows seem to be quite big over there, which to be fair isn't such a surprise, as there's a huge amount of livestock and farms over there. A livestock show includes showing off your best pigs, goats, chickens, and parading them for all the public to see, with a few keen-eyed judges looking at the ones that entered the show to judge their build, weight, height, and appearance. It's fair to say it's quite competitive. One person who competed in these was 17-year-old Aubrey Van Landingham. She was competing in different livestock competitions all around Texas. She was a 17-year-old cheerleader who was described as a bright, happy-go-lucky kind of girl, with her being well liked by many. She even ended up becoming her school's president of the FFA, which stands for the Future Farmers of America, which was the school's group dedicated to everything farm related and competitions alike. 23rd of October was a dark day for the group, however. On this day, a 15-year-old girl received a phone call that one of her competing goats was having convulsions and looked seriously ill. The schoolgirl came rushing to the school farm to find her pet goat Willie and rushed him to the vets. At first, vets were puzzled as to what was happening. Sadly, Willie died within 21 hours of the phone call. The vet who was looking after Willie came to the verdict of death. He was poisoned. Fosmet, an insecticide used to control pests and mice, was found in his system. Police were asking questions and interviewed Aubrey. She seemed a bit standoffish, with her saying odd things like, "I don't like cheaters." Then they found the CCTV footage. The footage was of Aubrey going up to Willie and forcing a syringe down Willie's throat. The footage shown Willie immediately ran from Aubrey after she had let him go. He was convulsing very shortly after. Aubrey had poisoned him. Looking into evidence, she was found to have googled on her phone, quote, "How to clear your search history, how much bleach kills a goat, if goats inject bleach do they die, and poisoning pets, what should you know?" When police interrogated her, she was found to have no remorse and was cold and callous. The mother of the 15-year-old who owned the goat told DailyMail.com her family wants justice for her daughter and her goat and are calling for the judge to give Aubrey jail time. She said, "We were there when he passed away. My daughter was actually holding him, so that was very traumatic." What's crazy was that she ended up admitting to poisoning him. And not just on that occasion, apparently she was poisoning him multiple times over several days. Local contests entered by the school FFA have cash prizes of up to $50, with the larger state fairs having a grand prize of $30,000. Most of the goats shown by the pupils were entered into lower level contests. She's charged under Texas law with 1 count of cruelty to livestock animals. The felony charge carries a maximum charge of 2 years in jail and a $10,000 fine. It's real hard to believe why anyone would go to these extremities just for a lower level livestock competition. What possessed her to take someone's well-loved pet in the name of, quote, winning in a livestock competition? Who knew livestock was so competitive, huh?